What's going on, everybody? It's the Bull Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a buyout options video, ladies and gentlemen. We've been linked to another player in terms of, I guess, the buyout market. This one's a bit of a strange one because I haven't heard of him potentially being bought out whatsoever, but at the end of the day, we will be talking about a lot of options for the Chicago Bulls, and I guess this one's going to be added to the tally. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bull Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about this player. Do you think he'd be a good fit for the Chicago Bulls, and is he exactly what we need? This player we're going to be talking about plays for the OKC Thunder, and his name is Mike Muscala, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very interesting player. Someone that we could probably definitely use, in my opinion, on this team. The question is it someone that we truly need as a potential backup big option for the Chicago Bulls? He's played 43 games this season, and his season averages has been 8 points, 3 rebounds, 0.5 assists, shooting very good 45.6% from the field, and a very good 42.9% from the three-point line. This is obviously a bench player as well, ladies and gentlemen. He's been playing off of the bench for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and there's been rumors going around that a potential buyout could happen with OKC and Mike Muscala, and obviously the latest in terms of that is that the Bulls have been linked as an option for this type of player. The positive, I guess, for this instance is that he is a backup center. He's 6'10", so he's not going to be small out there when he plays. Again, he is a backup center. He can also kind of play at the power forward position. Offensively, I think he's as good as you're going to get for a backup center. Someone that can space the floor, shoot the three, shoot the mid-range. Very good shooter overall. Someone that is definitely going to be able to help with the bench scoring and contributing off of the bench in better ways. And obviously, in terms of the negative side for Mike Muscala, I guess it's the fact that, I'm not sure he's the best defensive-minded player, because, again, many people will have different opinions on what we should be using that backup center position on. For example, some people say we need a rim protector to stop guys like Joel Embiid, or to stop guys like, again, like maybe a Nikola Jokic or a Rudy Gobert type of guy, Bam Adebayo type of guy, Jared Allen type of guy. I'm not really sure. Just a really tall guy that can play good defense in the interior. Many people might say that's what we need. Obviously, there are guys like Joel Embiid. You're never going to stop them no matter who's on you. But in terms of maybe trying to slow them down, maybe that's someone that obviously the Chicago Bulls should be pursuing. And other people might say that our bench scoring is very low at the moment, and it has been inconsistent relatively all season. So you add another guy that can spread the floor on this team, all of a sudden options become a little bit more clearer. The backup center position becomes a little bit more diverse. We spread the floor even more for guys like DeMar DeRozan and for Zach LaVine. And then, of course, things go down from there. We could be seeing a very good offensive center that can also get a decent, I wouldn't say a big amount of boards, but 3 rebounds per game is not, it's not terribly bad when he's putting up 8 points. But again, he's not a big rebounder as well. I guess that's a negative for you guys. Me personally, I think rebounding on this team is definitely an issue. But if he's someone that's playing at the power forward position, again, 6'10" guy, then that's not seen as a terrible thing for me. But that is definitely something that many people will look at and say, I don't think we should be going after this type of player. Before I get into what I think, should or would he get bought out from the OKC Thunder? There are two ways, again, very similar to the Goran Dragic thing, which, by the way, he did get bought out. So keep an eye out on that, and if the Chicago Bulls make any pursuits to Goran Dragic. But let's just say, for example, OKC are definitely a rebuilding team. With Mike Muscala, is it worth keeping him around for the OKC Thunder? He's a veteran guy that plays off the bench, probably could do a little bit more for the OKC Thunder than what he's doing at the moment. But all in all, is he someone that's been, I guess, valued as keeping around with OKC? Because if he is, again, he's not affecting their winning, is he? He's someone that is a good player, but he's a backup center. At the end of the day, he'll be a backup center for most places in this league. So is he really the biggest significance for them? If the answer is yes, then it doesn't really matter. He's not going to get bought out. But the potential has been there. And I think Mike Muscala is not the biggest difference maker for this to be a big issue for OKC to buy out. But it could also be Mike Muscala wants to leave OKC. he doesn't see a future there for him. At the end of the day, he's an older player compared to other guys. I believe he's 30 years old, so he probably wants to get into a winning team and try to find his way there. Or maybe he's looking for a little bit of a longer term contract. I'm not really sure. But that's also a reason why OKC could buy out Mike Muscala. Maybe it's a mutual agreement between the two that it just won't work out, that Mike Muscala is not a long-term guy for the OKC Thunder, and obviously OKC don't see him as a big valuable asset to keep around long-term. Two very simple things, ladies and gentlemen. So I think there is definitely an opportunity, but I wouldn't put it as high on my radar that Mike Muscala would get bought out. And now would I take him, ladies and gentlemen? I would take him, but I wouldn't take him as the backup center. As I've said countless times before, I think he could be a very good power forward option for the Chicago Bulls to pursue. Again, we have a lot of guys that are playing small ball at the moment. We are currently seeing, once again, Derrick Jones Jr. play as the backup center because we don't trust Tony Bradley or Tyler Cook to get significant and productive minutes out of this team. So Derrick Jones Jr. is carrying the load as the backup center once again. I don't know how I feel about that. So obviously Mike Muscala coming in for now as a backup center would be a better option in my opinion, but I would definitely pursue a backup center that can complement Mike Muscala over Mike Muscala being the main guy to pursue in the backup center position. Again, he's a bench option. He spreads the floor nicely. He can shoot the three at a very high level as well, and he's definitely someone that could be a threat every single night, especially in bench games and playoff games, let's say, where we need a shooter and we can rely on a bench shooter to come in and give you those minutes. That's a great thing to see, and that's something that we could definitely use. But in terms of the backup center position that we may need, again, many of us think that we need a big rebounder. Mike Muscala is not a big rebounder. Many people say that we need, a good rim protector. I don't think Mike Muscala is a good rim protector. Many people might say we need an athletic center. Mike Muscala is not an athletic center. So there are a lot of things that will go wrong with Mike Muscala as the backup center for the Chicago Bulls at the moment and what we need. The defense won't get better with Mike Muscala. The offense will definitely thrive with Mike Muscala in the team because he provides much more threats in every single area offensively than Tony Bradley would. So it's a bit of a difficult question to answer, but my answer is I would take him as a power forward for this team. I think he could be very valuable, and if, again, we get a guy like a Tristan Thompson type player. Again, I'm not saying Tristan Thompson's coming here, but you get a Tristan Thompson type player as the center, and you get Mike Muscala as a guy that could play a little bit of power forward for the Chicago Bulls. Maybe depending on the situation, you could play him as a backup center. That would be extremely ideal in my opinion for the Chicago Bulls. But all in all, my answer is power forward for me. I would not take him as a backup center because I feel like that center position has certain requirements in which Mike Muscala, unfortunately, does not meet at a long period of time. There'll be certain games where he can do it and there'll be other games where he struggles. But we'll wait and see how we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fingers crossed that we can get somebody in that's relatively cheap and could be very valuable. But if we don't, we roll on with the team that we have. But until that day comes where we either get a player or we don't get any players, I'll continue to bring videos like this every now and then when we either link to players or, again, if anybody has any suggestions, I'll feel free to talk about it. A couple of people have said Tristan Thompson to me. A couple of people have said Enes Freedom to me as well. Two very interesting guys. Two guys that could definitely help out the Chicago Bulls in one way or another. So we'll keep on talking about this and we'll just see where we can go in terms of getting a player into this team from a buyout option. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in another video, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.